In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories. Welcome to Raw and Order, the Wrestling Booking Unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet whose host really didn't get to watch much wrestling this week due to personal things. And I am that host, Detective Mark Smarts, and I am joined by my partners in crime fighting. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm pretty sure that if we were a band, I'd be the bassist, because I'm wearing the merch.
Wearing the merch.
Wearing the merch.
Wearing the merch. You can get that
wearing
merch.
The merch.
You too can wear that merch.
All right, I'm going to take this off because it's hot. So.
No, it's insulating merch.
Yes, it's such good merch that it's fire.
Yeah, it's fire. Also joining us from up north, who might need the insulating merch. Not right now, though, because they're heading a heat wave as well. JLB, what's going on, man?
Hey. I'm going good. It's going good. Yeah, heat wave galore. Doing this in my room.
So hot you shaved your beard, huh?
Did that before, technically, but thank God I did. Thank God. Next is the haircut.
Well,
tomorrow we're
if
going.
You would have shown up on FBI, we would have known that.
Touche.
You're just a real cop with real pro. Wait, that's not an insult.
Well, yeah. I mean, real cops get justification because that was big news this week. Or not so real cops, I guess. Yeah.
So
I would say that we're going to talk about a different set of big news, though, huh?
Yeah, we're going to talk about all sorts of big news. Like I said,
14
pieces of big news.
I really didn't get to watch much professional wrestling this week.
It's okay. You didn't miss much except for the Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy matchup on IEW.
I'm going to move to this view because I think it shows us all better. Maybe. Or maybe I'll move to this view.
Which highlights
whoever I wanted to. See now,
people who don't wear merch, huh?
Yeah, so just go to the. You just leave it on the merch. All episode. I'll leave you up big.
Here we go. Raw and Order Wrestling Booking Unit.
And it's got the QR code that you can just scan, so someone can scan your boob.
Scanmyboob.com. What's over here?
I'm going to try to scan your boob as we speak. This is so not going to work. Oh my God, it works. That's hilarious.
So go to scanmyboob.com.
Yeah, so you can walk down the street and have someone scan your boob and find our podcast. So.
They can also scan one of my hats. I have a Turks and Caicos hat too. So.
Yeah. So
it's a really tiny scan QR code on that one, though.
Yeah, I had to make it really small for it to fit on the the hats, but
let's do this.
Look, it's a snapback. You'd be like one of the hip kids.
I hate snapbacks. We need to talk to our providers a little bit about the whole snapback thing.
I go on rants. I feel so sorry for a guy at the Lids here where I live at the mall because he had to hear me go on a 20-minute rant one time about how much I fucking hate snapbacks, and he's just like, dude, I just sell hats, man.
He's like, buy some shit or get the fuck out. You know? That's
seriously. I just work here. I don't order the hats. Here's the deal: is like we've evolved as a technology to where we can have these flex fit hats that fit anyone's heads at all, or fitted hats. Everyone can know their size and just order their size and all this stuff. And he's like, dude, do you want the snapback or not? Like, well, I just wanted a dude. Anyways,
were you mimicking yourself just now?
I was mimicking myself, mimicking him.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It was Inception of mimicking.
Inception.
So before we get into
podcast within a podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, it's very meta. Before we get into all the news and crimes of this week, I would like to remind everyone Raw and Order is part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So you can head over to tatnusco.com and check out all the other shows there. The link is going to be in the doobly-doos for that as well. But check out the other shows there. Tell them that we sent you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the wrestling booking unit.
Let's do it.
Who's got the first crime? Or more
I'll go
specifically, who wants to be the first one to talk about 14 wrestlers fired?
So I don't hate this that much since I'm already up. Some of these aren't as bad as people want to make them out to be. Now we're in the nitty gritty of this person isn't really getting used, and so I almost feel like at this juncture when we're seeing this happen, it's becoming a gift to some of these guys who have the ability to produce their own merch, who are gonna get the following, who can put on a show and build their brand. Killian Dane's a prime example of a guy who can build his brand now. And so I'm not. I don't know that I charge a crime here. I think WWE might actually be doing the right thing for these wrestlers, albeit inadvertently. Now, the cool part is those wrestlers also get paid for the next 90 days while they hunt for a job. So, good for them, I suppose.
In clarification, the ones that are signed to NXT, if they're on NXT contracts,
they're immediately
30-day,
yeah.
30-day no compete, but they still, they. It's just. Here's my thing. For the most part, I agree with you because consecutively, all of the releases this year have been
underutilized.
Less important. Right? I mean, aside from Braun Strowman being a big what, most of them have been like bit players, supporting acts, stuff like that. People who, like you say, aren't being utilized. Like Killian Dane
had the short stint with Drake Maverick.
Yeah, well, and was still in that, but that wasn't going anywhere. And to be perfectly honest. We talked about it last year. I think they kept Drake Maverick around mostly as a gimmick anyways. He got to be so popular with the I've been fired thing that he's like, let's just keep him around, right? So
and he's still not fired. Like, wow.
And he's still not fired, but I think...
I don't think that'll play for him the next time. I think the next time they'll be like, hey, you can go get a job.
Yeah, you have no card to play with this now.
Yeah, but so the full list, if I'm getting them all here, is Killian Dane we mentioned.
Better off for it.
Yeah, who will probably be better off for it. August Gray, who I don't remember ever seeing actually wrestle.
So probably better off for it because he can develop under developmental brand or indies or something like that. Now he may take a pay cut for that, and that's the unfortunate part.
Mm-hmm. Aria Diavari, right?
Better off for it by leaps and bounds. Better off for it.
Ever Rise, now they can go back to Canada and be heroes up there.
Better off for it. They're fantastic. So,
and here's
fantastic
the deal.
wrestlers. 2.0, 3.0 was like a big thing all around the Canada indie scene.
And here's the deal: WWE doesn't really appreciate tag wrestling just in general, right? And so those are prime candidates to go and show up in AEW in the tag division and face off with the likes of the Young Bucks and such, right?
For sure.
Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
I don't know. That's the one group that I don't know if is better off for it. Yeah. I think it hurts WWE, and those are the two that I think it hurts WWE and hurts the characters.
I think with them...
if they go somewhere together, they're going to be fine.
They don't need to, though. Tyler Breeze
I think Tyler Breeze is talented enough that he can go off on his own. Fandango, I'm not as certain, although I've said before, I still think Fandango is just Disco Inferno circa 2000. You know what I mean?
With a way deeper voice.
Yeah.
Way deeper, boys.
Tony Nese, former cruiserweight champion.
Better off for it.
Yeah, he can go anywhere and be a star. He's amazing.
Yep.
Yep. The Bollywood Boys, who, let's be honest, we kind of knew this was coming as soon as they stopped having him be with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
They had no purpose anymore.
And they could, I mean, they may very well be picked up if WWE starts to do an India line. They could be picked back up as part of the premiere in India. So,
Tino Sabatelli, there's a story. He might not be better off for it.
well, he's twice fired now.
Yeah, twice fired, but on top of it, he might not be better off because he did kind of burn a bridge last time. We'll talk about that. And then Kurt Stallion, who I don't know offhand, so just like we said with August Gray, probably better off be able to go off and develop on the indies.
Yeah, take a little bit of a pay. It is going to be a pay cut for those guys.
Well, it may not be a pay cut, but it's going to be a not consistent paycheck. Right.
That's probably more
Yeah,
more realistic.
because they might actually earn more money on the indies because they'll be booked to shows and all this, except they only will earn that money when they get booked to shows.
Yep.
Whereas
Right.
if they, whereas in the Performance Center, they had a contract, even if they were never showed up on NXT, they earned a paycheck, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Arturo Ruas. And he's kind of the only question mark because reportedly he was. Oh, and there one more, Marina Shafir. Sorry, meant to mention.
Yeah, and I don't know how to place her.
Yeah, well, and both of them are tough, Marina Shafir and Arturo Ruas, because NXT just debuted the Diamond Mine this week, and both of those names were originally in talks to be in the Diamond Mine. And Marina Shafir's husband is in the Diamond Mine. And for him to have been off TV for a while and re-debut, and then later that week his wife gets fired, it's got to be a big up and down week for him, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, I'm back on TV. This new group, Diamond Mine, we're gonna kick ass. And
well, and for that reason, creative and administrative. Ooh, we can use husband and wife, and that'll be great. She's fired. Wait,
yeah,
what? Oh,
yeah, it's
you got a
another one
story?
of those.
Fuck yeah,
I-
she's fired.
I would love to see a video vlog of you of just hands talking. I think that would be pretty hilarious.
The entire time it's just.
Should we do
Yep.
like this thing? Oh yeah, that's gonna be great.
I can't move my stupid shoulder surgery. I can't.
Oh, I'm
Reminds
just-
me of Syphil and Ollie.
Syphilis Ollie?
Syphil and Ollie. It was a show on MTV, the Syphil and Ollie show. They were sock puppets.
Oh, so they weren't fake cops in real pro wrestling.
They indeed were not. But
So I don't know. I don't know that the pacing rule works better. I don't know. I think we just need a break from hearing about firings because we get so heartbroken over it. But also at the same time, I don't know
I
if
stopped
hearing
caring.
one every week. I don't know if hearing one every week would help us anymore. We'd be like, oh well, who's going to be fired this week? That's kind of a leveraging thing. So I don't know how to go about this right. I feel good for the people who are getting let go at this juncture versus last year, this time, or last year in April, going, well, shit, nobody's putting on shows.
That's
well,
it.
and that's I think the other big thing to talk about with this is last year when the big releases happened. A, they happened all at once, and B, they happened right at the beginning of the pandemic when we knew that for the course of the next couple months, no other company was going to be hiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We knew AEW wasn't going to be stacking their roster because they had to survive the pandemic. We knew Ring of Honor wasn't even going to be doing shows for a while. So they're not going to be adding to their roster. This year, these releases are different because they all come at a time when these people hit the ground, shows are back up and running for all of the wrestling groups, right? Not just WWE, but AEW, Impact is doing shows, Ring of Honor is starting to do shows, New Japan is having their American tours startup. So all of these wrestlers, and then the indies, right, all are back up and running. So all of these wrestlers have chances to land somewhere and really make ends meet. Except for Braun Strowman, I hope he suffers.
God, you're a dick.
No,
You're just a dick.
Wow. I hope
Braun Strowman's a dick, and that's the issue.
I hope he suffers long enough to realize that asking for, 5-figure booking fees might not work for everyone.
Braun Strowman, scan my boob. Scan my boob. I'll hold it right there for you, Braun. Okay. Now find that IP address. Trace it. Smarks is actually the one who hosts this. And just call me or text or hit me up on Twitter.
Wow.
DA Vincent Kayfabe. It's right down here. See it right there? DA Vincent Kayfabe. I want to just watch you put him through a wall. That's all.
So
He'll enjoy the lawsuit. I
jokes
think
on
this
you.
is a win-win.
Joke's on you. That's all hosted by Linktree, so that's not my IP address attached to it. He'd be going
But
to someplace in
when he
California.
clicks on something, he can go to the hosting IP address, which will take him to StreamYard, which will take him. I mean, it takes some work, and he'd have to have his brother Brains help him out.
Yeah, he'd have to have break. Well, here's the deal. Again, because we go through StreamYard, right? The IP address gets him to StreamYard, doesn't get him back to me. Because
Yeah, he'd
like
have to have an
VPN.
inside. He'd have to have an inside source like Brains.
It's like I go through a VPN. He can't trace me. It's not
Yeah,
like he can
yeah.
find out that I've talked about living in Omaha, Nebraska before, or has a picture
So
of
yeah,
me.
just listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
You don't know what he looks like. You're gonna have to hunt down his voice.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to go through every member of the Omaha PD.
Yes, every
He
single
knows
one
what
of
he
them.
looks like.
Make sure to do the wrestling booking unit of the Omaha PD.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Which is an undercover unit, so it's gonna be tough. But
Yeah.
you can go to scanmyboob.com, and we should definitely see if that's an option.
Well, it's not a website, so it's definitely an option.
Yeah. I have a feeling that we would get the wrong clientele on scanmyboob.com. But
Or
no,
we just might
like-
have to randomly start selling like boob tattoos.
Yeah,
Boob tattoos.
I think
Raw Note or WB boob.
Wrestling booby unit.
I'm
Yeah, I can tell you my wife would veto that idea. She would
That's
say
why you
no to
don't
that.
tell her.
Yeah. It's not
You
like she
already
listens
know.
to the podcast every single week.
I'm sure she tells them she does. Doesn't necessarily mean she does.
I'm pretty sure she does listen to the podcast every single week.
I mean, an unrelated note. Do you think anyone from like Mexico has started OnlyFans?
This delicious caramel gelatin dessert.
At OnlyFans. I'm actually gonna Google that because I would laugh.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Anyway, so back to professional wrestling. Yeah, I think that I don't know that Marina can go back to UFC or to MMA. She spent a lot of years in professional wrestling, and it's a tough return.
I am telling you right now, there is an OnlyFans website.
Oh my lord!
It's onlyflans.net, but it's all about flans.
That's absolutely wonderful.
That's great. And there's also an OnlyFlans Twitter.
So let's break down these people, and let's switch people on the screen because I'm tired of looking at myself.
We'll put JLB up there
Oh,
then, so
Jesus.
he can look at himself.
Yeah, he's going to advertise a video game system that occurred in the 70s and
Damn right. Go old school.
go to scanmyboobs.com and you'll see JLB is hawking Atari, the original Pong.
Damn right. Can't go wrong with the original Pong. Please
That's
sponsor
right,
us.
16 games of Fury.
Damn Skip. Okay, am I doing mine or are we still doing this whole?
We're just still talking about
is
the
released.
firings.
Okay. So, I mean, look. At
What,
the end of the day,
did you have a separate one? You have a separate crime other than Edge coming back? again for the fourth
I
time
mean,
this year.
I'm sorry, but Dewdrop has to be dropped somewhere.
That's legit. At least it was an uncomfortable position for her. But let's talk firings, and then we can come back to Dewdrop.
For sure. I think you guys are right. I felt the same way as when they did it. What it was back in March, April, when they did the first firings this year, with it being Samoa Joe, Braun, and whoever. At the end of the day, I'm just like, guys, your product is so trash. Your wrestlers aren't being motivated. You know what? I'm happy that they're bouncing. You know, like it. I don't even care anymore. Fire everybody. The only person that I don't regret being fired before she was even put into play was the writer who just started talking about how she doesn't know anything about WWE and talking about what did she call them? Bobby Ashley. And
Yeah,
just
Bobby
how she
Ashley.
didn't know anything. Like, look, WWE knows why they hired you. They didn't hire you for wrestling. But they already know this. Don't go, but they like your actual other work of comedy and so on. But don't go promoting that to interviewers who are interviewing you. Because guess what? No company is going to like that PR move, and they're just going to can you. Unless she got some kind of loophole where she signed the contract and, hey, if you fire me, I'm guaranteed this amount, then cool. But I highly doubt it. Vince is not going to do anything like that. Or
But does
fire
that
her.
help her? Does that help her in her future pursuits?
I don't think it affects her at all.
Putting herself in a position where she took a job as a writer for an organization in her future pursuits as a writer. She took a job not knowing anything about it.
If she at least did a little, like, I don't know why you couldn't have said, oh, well, I'm challenging myself going into a field that I've never done before. Not say, oh, I don't know anything about wrestling. There's this Hurt Business Group. There's Bobby Ashley. It's all planned and whatever. Like, it was just a bunch of stupidity. You have to do like you're in a regular job interview and say, well, you know what? It's something new to me. I'm going to expand my horizons. I'm going to face the challenge, and I'm excited to do so. That's saying the exact same thing as you don't know what the hell you're doing there, but you're going to take the job because, hey, it's money and they're paying me well. The exact same thing. Clearly, she messed that up. Or she just didn't really care.
So, what do you guys think? This was about like a 15 minutes of fame type thing then for her, or?
I think the big thing. I think she mostly just misspoke in an interview. Right here's what it comes down to. She was hired, and in an interview, she just thought, "Hey, I'll be candid and say, listen, I didn't know anything about wrestling. I was surprised when they actually hired me and didn't require me to know anything about wrestling." You know. In the end, kind of like what JLB was saying, there are other ways she could have worded it. She could have said, I didn't know anything about wrestling, but I threw myself into it, and I'm making an effort to learn everything. But when it came down to it, the way that she responded in the interview directly led to her being fired because it made WWE look shoddy, like they didn't do their due diligence with that hire. So.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, at the end, if we're realistic about it, though, at the end of the day, do they have to? I mean, Vince is just going to change it on the show date, anyways.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the end, we've mentioned before doesn't matter who they hire as the writers.
Well, I mean,
PKM's
Vince
going to come in and throw it all out the window.
Not Vince, but WWE was already getting flack because that came out originally a little bit before that they hired a non-wrestling writer, and it was just someone for comedy and so on. And then I think like 3 days later, she did an interview. So WWE was already getting flack for that because one, that news should have never ever have been released. Clearly, though, this writer talks a lot and can't shut her mouth. So maybe they were already mad about that being released because there's no one who thought, oh, well, if this gets released, they'll just think, oh, we're thinking outside the box. No, it's wrestling. You're in a wrestling promotion. You're going to want a wrestling writer because, hey, the wrestling fans want to see good wrestling storylines. Otis
gonna argue
every
with
5
that
seconds.
thing there, because in
Ooh,
the grand scheme of
controversy
things,
creates cash.
yeah, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of professional wrestling storylines have been written by people outside of professional wrestling, right? And love him or hate him, but Vince Russo came into WWF with no professional wrestling writing background,
Right.
and he went on to
And he created Stone Cold Steve Austin.
create Stone Cold Steve Austin, exactly. But down the road, there
He
have been
also created the demise of WCW.
He didn't. He just poured gas on the flames.
Still doesn't help.
I've said this before. Vince Russo didn't kill WCW, but he didn't do anything that was going to help save it. So,
Fair.
but in the end, this is not the first time, nor will it be the last time, that someone outside of wrestling has been hired to write for professional wrestling. And so anyone
For sure.
giving WWE crap for that is just clueless as to how it works. Because in the end, what is WWE? What is professional wrestling? It is
Sports entertainment.
it is a testosterone charged soap opera. That's what it is, right? It's a soap opera with sport. So
Well, and
So
on
you-
top of that, you don't get new storylines if you don't have new blood in there.
yeah. So you bring in someone who can write storylines, and then you figure out how to add the sport into it. You look back at the classic Stone Cold feuds and everything. None of Stone Cold's feuds evolved around wrestling. Wrestling was just a prop in his feud with Vince McMahon. Wrestling was just a prop in his feud with Booker T. In fact, there's less wrestling in that and more beating each other up in a supermarket.
Right.
That's the sort of thing. I mean, you put actors from Hollywood in those roles, and you've got a soap opera. That's the sort of stuff that actually literally happens in soap opera, fights in supermarkets, right?
Right.
So
I don't know which soap opera you watch, but yeah.
hiring people from outside wrestling to write in and of itself is not the problem. The problem with this came, and I'll take a little bit of issue with one of the statements you said. You said she doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut, or she likes to talk a lot. She was being interviewed by a news source, right? If you get hired for any job, and the local news calls you up and says, "Hey, we want to talk to you about your new job at this store or at this place or whatever," you're
gonna
gonna
take it.
talk to him, right? And you're gonna think,
Oh no, that's
only-
fine. She can
Her
do the
only
interview.
mistake was saying
Talking
the
too
wrong
much.
thing in it.
Right.
No, not even talking too much. I have no issue with what she said overall. It's how she said it, right? She could have said
Mr. Semantics.
she could have said the exact same things in a better way. Like I say, she could say, I didn't know anything about professional wrestling when I was offered this job, so I took time to start learning about it, and I'm still learning about it. And at that point, you roll on, right? But she did the typical, I don't know about something, but I'm going to try to talk about it as if I now know about it, right? So she's like,
Right.
oh yeah, they got this Hurt Squad, and it's run by this guy. I think his name is Bobby Ashley, right? There's a statement that is said a lot in certain jobs, and D.A. Fabe can attest to this one being told in a job that we shared together. They tell it to the newbies at this job right away. If you don't know something, just say, I don't know, and I'm going to find that out for you. Don't
Yeah.
try to make it up, right?
That's
Don't
it.
try to just BS your way through it. Just say, you know what, I'm not sure on the answer for that. I'm going to get back to you with the correct answer.
That's it.
I'm going to do it. And that's what she should have done. That's her only mistake is,
And then do it.
and then do it. Yeah, Then you say, listen, I'll get back to you, and then get back to him and say, hey, I looked up the answer for you. And that's, that was something told in like day one of training at a job that I was at with DFA before. And they basically say, listen, it was selling cars, by the way, just to clear things up here.
You mean it wasn't when we were truck drivers together? Because I got a cool truck driver hat that says "Fake Cops, Real Pro Wrestling."
It was not a trucker hat, a trucker job. No.
I'm ready to arm wrestle because I got it on backwards.
You got it on backwards. You got to go over the top.
Over the top.
Over the top.
And once you go over the top, then you get to keep your son.
Yeah, and your hood ornament for your truck.
Yeah, because I know family courts. They really look at who won the arm wrestling contest as to who gets to keep custody. They're like, fuck the mother, man. She didn't win the arm wrestling contest. Her father did. But so no, and that's the deal. Is people, especially journalists, are always looking for you to fuck up. They're always looking for that mistake that they can pounce.
That's their job.
And she made
Ratings.
the mistake. The rule is you don't know the answer, don't say it. And just like I said in car sales, because in car sales it's very similar. You will get people who come in and say and ask questions about cars that they already know the answer to because they want to see if the salesperson fucks up and tells them the wrong thing. Because as soon as you mess up and say the wrong thing to this person, they know they can't trust you in selling cars, right?
And they're going to say, we got him.
Yeah, we got him. This person doesn't know anything. So now I can't. And so they'll say like, oh yeah, this vehicle, this is one of those ones that has the V8 in it, right?
Oh,
Waiting for you to be like, yeah, it's the V8.
Oh yeah, you're not acting for him then.
You're the other sales car guy. I don't know. Yes, it has the V8, and you know what? If you push it hard enough, it'll go to a V9. It's the newest out. I know nothing about cars, guys. You're asking the wrong guy.
And that's the point. You answer it by saying, you know what, I don't know, but I'm going to look up that information and get it back to you. Say, tell you what, when we get back to the dealership, I'll pull up all the specs for this, and you can look at it, and you can make sure that it's got all the things that you need.
Tell you what, I'm going to quit this job because it's not for me, and I'll bring you to another sales guy that'll help you out even better. How about that?
Yeah, you know what? You fooled me here. Just pull over right and let me out, and you can drive the car back.
Straight up.
So, I mean, in the end, she said something stupid and she got fired from her job. Right?
Yeah. So that's the only one that's kind of like the other ones. I'm happy for. I kind of want to keep track of where this person writes next. Like it did keep me that intrigued for some reason, or just kind of what she wrote in the past. Perhaps I guess it's a quick Google and I could find out. But I didn't spend my time doing that just yet. But very curious. I don't know how you make that kind of mistake. This is not your first interview ever. You know what I mean? This is not probably your first job of not knowing what, that TV show might have wanted or that movie necessarily might have wanted. As writers, I know your certain skill sets is directed towards a certain section, but you must have been in situations where it threw you off balance and you had to, I don't know.
I think
kind of silly.
I think what she got hit by was wrestling fans just in general. And here's why. I think if she got hired to write for some TV show, Walker, Texas Ranger, and she gave the interview and she said, listen.
What
the fuck?
Why Walker,
Texas Ranger?
Because it's actually a show that's on TV right now, and I know that for reasons.
Okay.
It's back?
Yeah, it's back. There's a new version with Jared Padalecki.
Oh, wow.
From Supernatural. Anyways, but if she in an interview said, listen, I don't know anything about Walker, Texas Ranger. They hired me to come on. I know it's a guy who's a Texas Ranger, and maybe his name's Walker or something. I don't know, right? I think it all would have slid under the radar and she'd been fine. What she didn't understand is that wrestling fans like to nitpick and overanalyze everything. It's in our theme song
intro.
And that's the deal is so she didn't realize how much wrestling fans would latch on to that. She doesn't know anything about anything. She don't know shit about shit. She better get fired. And she didn't realize how much the wrestling industry as a whole values that. She didn't realize that. I guarantee you Jim Cornette had an aneurysm. I can't believe WWE would hire someone who didn't know anything about wrestling. An outlaw mud show bullshit. And all of that led to her getting let go. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. And I think if she'd have said that in almost any other industry, she would have been fine. But wrestling, she didn't realize how sensitive wrestling fans can be to shit like that. So, but I don't know if you guys
sensitive.
Yeah, we're sensitive souls. If you have different theories on that, make sure to let us know in the comments. You can type that little comment out right now. Say, DA Fabe, you don't know shit about shit. Send. And I'll be like, oh, man. But I suppose we'll continue talking about the wrestlers who got fired, because they're the only ones that we really care about.
Yeah, we talked a lot about a writer who's never written for them and got...
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think Tyler Breeze, whether he's with Fandango or not, I think Tyler Breeze will land on his feet just fine. Especially since he's got a wrestling school down in Florida that has been used to teach quite a few current AEW wrestlers.
Okay.
So I think that'll work out just fine for him. I think Fandango is talented enough. To be perfectly honest, with him, he needs a new gimmick. With a new gimmick, sure. I think he could go anywhere. But the comedy dancer gimmick, I think, that's when it's cooked.
Well, I mean, the Fashion Police thing was good at some point, but then they just took it for too long, and I'm just like, nope, you done ruined it.
You know, the funny part with Fandango is he has carried two gimmicks there. Number one, number two, he's obviously very, very talented. Number three, he can I mean, he's got a voice for podcasting if he wants. The dude has an incredible mic voice. I hate saying it, but it's true. I mean, he's one of the few guys with a deeper voice than me in natural production. Okay, there's a lot of guys like that. There's, James Earl Jones and Fandango, and anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Morgan Freeman, William Shatner.
Shatner does not have a lower voice than me.
I don't know.
Shatner,
okay, babyface.
No, I guess not. No, it doesn't. Moving forward.
So the other piece to that is today is the 19-year anniversary of a guy who changed gimmicks a lot and was successful in all but his very first one. And today's the 19-year anniversary of that first gimmick, and that was ruthless aggression.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena. So 19 years ago today, John Cena came and called out Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah. That's what
is that why they did that thing on NXT? I guess.
I don't know if that was necessarily why they did it, but it might have been in the background.
Okay. Because I don't know who that guy was, and he's like, I come out. Well, you know what? As the old saying goes, I come out for ruthless aggression. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, damn it, has it been that long already? I remember that like it was
19 years. It's hard to believe, huh?
Still feel like I'm in high school, man.
Smarks was 27 when that happened.
Oh, Jesus.
23.
But still, you were an adult.
No, 25. 25.
Yeah. I make a joke trying to make you sound a lot older than you are, and
24.
it's still only 2 years older than you are.
24,
3 years
20.
older.
Maybe 24. I don't know.
Smarks was 44.
I will be 44 this year. I'm not yet. I'm not ancient.
You'll always be ancient to me.
That's true. I mean, he's got like 10 years on you.
And I mute him. We can deal with that for a while.
What's that? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. That's very odd. It's almost like he muted you.
I was gonna say, do you really want to mute this beautiful voice? But apparently you did. Apparently you did. Well played. I mean, I don't know.
I would agree. I really think there are 3 or 4 that it hurts WWE more than it helps them. And I think most of the wrestlers, it helps them. And for this writer, I think she can go find a role in an organization.
Oh yeah, she'll be
and
fine.
maybe learn the lesson to not, that's one of those lessons like not telling your boss to F off. It just doesn't actually play well. It plays well in a storyline for Stone Cold. That's about it.
Won't work.
Well,
exactly.
that's the difference between soap opera reality and real reality. In soap opera reality, if you beat your boss with a bedpan in a hospital, right, you might get to keep your job. But in real reality,
you might become the CEO in a couple years.
But in real reality, you get fired and charges filed.
Yeah, probably go to jail. Yeah. I love JLB's curly hair just staring back at us in the face. Just,
sorry.
What up?
What up?
Coke bottle glasses.
Those curls get the girls, bro.
Wow. Why you got to do that, man?
Because he is what the Spanish call el terrible. I've used that one before, haven't I?
We'll just get you some contacts. Unfortunately, it'll hurt your eyes really badly because they'll have to be so thick.
No, I could wear contacts technically. I just don't like them. They do irritate the eyes a bit. So, enough about my vision, because it's not about vision talk. Although that's
WandaVision? We're going to talk about Marvel
down.
Cinematic Universe?
Okay, are we done with wrestlers? Because there's really nothing else there. I honestly...
Yeah.
Smarks, you got any front and center stuff you want to talk about, Smarks? You can put yourself in the middle?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say I agree with DFAbe on this whole thing because, for the most part, almost all of these wrestlers are probably going to be better off someplace else. There are a few, and the big one that, like I said, jumps out to me is Marina Shafir, whose husband just came back from being out of storyline, and now she's shit canned. That being said, I think she's talented enough that she could go to one of the lower tier places and earn her way up. I think the problem is that that NXT doesn't prioritize their women's development enough sometimes.
No.
And because of that, they end up like Aaliyah, who's okay in the ring, but not great in the ring, when they could end up like Candice LeRae or Ember Moon,
Well, and Marina had they done the damn 4 horsewomen storyline, you may have gotten over Shafir. You may have gotten over the other one is what is her name?
Jessamine Duke.
Jessamine Duke. You may have gotten her over. I doubt you'd have gotten Jessamine Duke over because, unfortunately, you can make a toothpick.
Yeah, that's the problem with Jessamine Duke.
Oh my God, don't break her. Okay, they didn't break her.
And here's the deal. I know she could 100% break me, right? But in here, I watch her and I go, oh geez, she's gonna shatter a limb.
Yeah,
she's gonna do a Sid Vicious off that top rope. She is
Yeah.
totally gonna do that.
Oh my gosh, she just climbed a stair. Oh, no, okay, she's good. Next stair. Oh, okay, she's good.
But like Everrise will probably be better off. The Bollywood boys, at the very least, could go back to. They're from Canada, if I'm remembering correctly. But they could go over to India and be legitimate stars over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Tony Nese could go to Impact Wrestling and be a fairly big name. He'd have to come up with a better gimmick than I wear that shirt that's cut out to show my abs.
Yeah, but the same goes for Daivari. Davari's better on a mic. Tony Nese had really great character development when he was a heel, though. Really, and so did Daivari, though. I mean, those two played great heel work. If AEW were to do some type of lightweight division, number one, they're set up for it already. And those guys would just bring in some additional flip-de-doos with character work. Because what we've noticed over the last 10 years of wrestling is exceptional flip-de-doos usually is a pretty good sign of not so great a character work. And those two are an example of exceptional flip-de-doos and great character work.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole Bollywood thing was pretty cool too, technically. It's just...
we're talking about two different guys now.
Oh, are we? Okay, sorry.
We'd moved on to Daivari and Tony
Nese.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. You can go back to Bollywood.
Yeah, I mean, one job, listening to the podcast as we talk, I
He went there.
I was. My bad. But yes, I mean, that's just it, though, guys. All of them are just decent enough talent where they'll be able to find something else, except Austin Gray, because I have no idea who he is, and that other person.
The other dude that we don't know.
Yeah, that we don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you even any good? I feel like I've never seen you, so can't really tell. But
that's an opportunity for him to hone his craft. He got paid very well to hone his craft temporarily, and now he's going to get paid a little bit to hone his craft more. Either Austin Gray or other dude we can't remember his name.
It's almost like he was part of the Forgotten Sons or something.
mean, in fairness, names like Kurt Stallion and August Gray weren't really setting you up for superstar success in these.
I mean,
it's probably setting you up for a sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, maybe, but that's it.
Yeah. I mean, if your name's August Gray, you're going to go to the main roster, and then they're going to just call you Gray.
Or August.
And we know how well that worked for Buddy Murphy.
Kurt Stallion. Or Murphy.
Wait, is Murphy was fired, right?
Yes, Murphy was let go.
Yeah, and he was just Murphy.
And he was just down to Murphy. And
I can't wait to see that guy go somewhere else.
Did you see the picture today he tweeted out, though?
He's jacked up. Yeah.
He's
ready.
jacked. He is fucking swole.
Whoa.
But his contract is like over now, right? His 90 days done or not even?
His 90 days
22nd this month? Is that right? 22nd?
I'm trying to remember which one. It was June 2nd is when he got released. So
I thought he was the
September
April
2nd.
group. September 2nd.
September 2nd would be...
so they could still technically use him, pull the Samoa Joe and like...
Samoa Joe got a new contract.
Yeah, the thing is with Samoa Joe is his 90 days was up when he re-signed. So he could... But they brought him in and gave him a new contract because in the end it was one of those situations like DFA mentioned earlier that creative's hand didn't know what marketing's hand was doing. And marketing's like, cut him. And creative's like, wait, no, we want him. No, cut him.
Yeah.
No, we want him. No, cut him. No, we want him.
I think that is the perfect match, though, for Joe, because I feel like Joe doesn't want to do crazy wrestling anymore. You know what I mean? An off match here or there. I think he's just very happy with that. He's probably getting decent enough money, and he's like, I'm good. I'll be Regal's enforcer. I feel like he's not going to be full-on wrestling every week or anything like that.
Also, sadly, bad week in history for Kurt Angle. This is the week he lost to Samoa Joe in TNA Impact for the
Oh, wow.
world title.
But in the end, what I was going to say though is I think we are seeing why this staggered releases works better than all at once. Because in the end, in these 3 sets of major releases, they've released as many wrestlers as they did in the firing back last year.
Oh yeah, you
But
counted
we went fucking ape shit on them last year because
because it was all one shot.
because
Yeah.
it was all one shot. And this year, we had 3, I don't like that they fired people times. And that's definitely an improvement over what we did last year for them. So I think that
Well,
works better, trickling them out
yeah.
slowly.
The problem of doing any large number right now is it reminds us of the firings in the pandemic. Is
That's
it
what
just
I-
it's a hey, don't forget we're assholes. That's really
Well-
what it does right now more than
Well,
anything
14
else.
is still a pretty big number. What
It
was
is
last
still
year's?
big. It was 38 in one go.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um,
Wow.
I think it was 38, something like 30 something, 34.
But that includes backstage and everything. That wasn't just
Oh
wrestling.
no, that was just wrestlers last year. Backstage was another 50 something.
Oh.
Because all told, it was like 100 something last year. And here's the deal: is what we're not talking about because they didn't happen all at once. Is there have been backstage cuts as well this year that weren't, and not just talking about the writer that was fired, but about a month ago, on the June 2nd one. That's when they did a whole restructuring in their offices, and there were a bunch of backstage people who were fired that we don't even talk about because it just kind of came out and whenever. So, that was Nick Khan doing all of the reorganizing.
It's Tony's cousin.
No, it's
Not true.
To-
100% not true. Spelled differently and everything. I'm just
I
pretending I know something.
I think they're spelled almost the same, but
Nope. Nick Khan is C-O-N-N. Tony Khan is K-A-H-N.
Nope, it's K-A-H-N. I'm looking at
Nick
it right
is?
now. Yep,
Are you sure?
I am looking at it right now.
Then somebody else spelled shit wrong on another news article. And I just believed him.
You sure did.
I suspended my disbelief and I was just like, hey,
They're not related.
Khan.
They have different last names.
Now, as I say, Tony Khan will 100% say there's no relationship, and he, in a promo last month, very famously said there's only enough room for one Khan in professional wrestling, and it's not you, Nick, it's me, Tony Khan, the Forbidden Door. So, anyway. But we will go ahead and move on from these firings and talk about something else.
Dewdrop. This is
Ooh,
JLB's, so you got to put him on the
JLB's.
screen.
All right, hold on. Okay.
Yeah, put your clothes back on.
Yeah, put your
No, my
clothes
clothes
back
are
on.
Jesus.
Put your penis away.
Whoa. calm down.
Or not. I mean,
mean-
if you're a CNN reporter, you could get your job back, and it pays really, really
Eventually,
well.
you can. Yeah,
Yeah, it
That's
works
valid.
out nicely.
you just have to say, "Oh, it was a bad decision on my part."
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, it was a very bad decision on your
Okay,
part.
guys, I just
did-
have one question. Do you hear the air conditioning or not?
No, I don't. I also don't hear the background music I was hearing earlier at your house. So,
You don't hear the air conditioning?
oh,
Yeah,
I
maybe a
do,
little
but
bit,
it's
but not
it's
enough
not
to worry.
overwhelming.
Just
No,
talk.
Nothing
it's
crazy? Okay.
No,
it's
All right.
no worse
Talk.
than your music box that you listen to before you go to bed. I don't know why I know that.
My music box? Okay.
Yeah, with the ballerina that spins around.
Oh, funny.
That's not your house.
No, it's not my house. Oh, my cuckoo
Awkward.
clock. Okay. My cuckoo
No,
clock.
it's not,
I
I
still
was
hear
just
that.
I was pretending to be a
That-
creep. That's all.
so awkward for you.
You're a
David.
creep. You're a weirdo. What the hell are you doing here? Yeah, so no, Dewdrop. I mean, what is that? So I actually heard about this before it even happened. It was announced somewhere on some dirt sheet, and I was like, checking WWE Network. I'm like, nothing's been changed there. She's still kind of forgot her other name now. I know it's something with Piven. But
Piper Niven.
I don't know. Piper
Niven.
So I don't even know why you made this change, and then you had a feud. Looks like she's going to be leaving Eva Marie because they had that whole thing where she tagged her and then she didn't help her out and whatever. So I imagine that's ending. So I don't really know what they're doing. Why the name change? Why even do that whole little storyline? I just think Vince doesn't like anything taken from NXT and wants to revamp it. We've obviously seen that happen. But in this case, it just made no sense. People knew her as Piper Niven, no problem.
Well,
And
but
liked
notice
it.
in the promo where she was named Dewdrop, remember, she looked at the camera like, "What the? She's changed my name to Dewdrop? What a bitch!"
Yeah, that's ultimately the thing that we have to remember is that her name change is part of the storyline.
Okay.
Her name change is part of Eva Marie being egotistical and saying, "I'm going to give you a new name because I'm Eva Marie and I'm so important, and so your new name is Dewdrop," which directly led to Piper Niven leaving the match and allowing Eva Marie to lose. And so if that's the storyline that they're telling, is that Eva Marie, her ego is what's causing her to lose because she keeps, it'll all come down to if she shows up with a different person next week.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I guess if it's within a storyline, cool. I just haven't seen WWE do any amazing storylines in a hot minute. And I don't know, the commentators were so excited for it too. I guess they were just playing off because Graves loves Eva Marie and whatever. But everyone was mentioning the name like 5,000 times, like they wanted the fans to remember it. Because I feel like they are going to keep it.
Well, of course they
But
want fans to remember it. They spent a lot of money to trademark it.
They trademarked Dewdrop.
Yep, that's how we knew it was coming.
Oh my god!
See what I mean? Why are you going to trademark it for like one storyline though?
If the storyline lasts longer. Now here's the other thing, and this is where I will kind of point out. They trademarked it, but remember, they get her name, that name Dewdrop, from her finishing move.
Right.
Her finishing move is called the Mountain Dewdrop. It's spelled the same way, Doudrop. Dewdrop.
Which is all more reason why they might even keep it.
And so, but by trademarking it, they can even trademark her finishing move, right? They can use it, and then later, if someone else uses that same finishing move, and they've got the trademark for it, they can call it the same thing.
So does this? I think this crime might be evolving to a trademarking crime.
Oh, I've got my own trademarking crime.
Okay, you're gonna hold on to that one.
Yes, that was going to be my main crime.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. So maybe mine was more of a misdemeanor, I guess. I just thought the name was
a crime
so
because
stupid.
it's stupid. The storyline as of right now is stupid. You have Piper Niven, who is an athletic, agile. Yes, she's larger than Eva Marie, but so is Jordynne Grace, and Jordynne Grace is athletic and agile and capable, and she's not in WWE, obviously. But yeah, and you're gonna hit her with Dewdrop. Which is a name that buries her.
Yes.
Yeah. Which again might be the point because Eva Marie always needs to be on top and so on. I don't know. I just don't see them thinking storyline wise, because then why? I mean, I don't know. They're heavy. This is all really for Eva Marie. I feel like they don't even care about Piper Niven at this point.
Or Piper, for that matter.
Or by sorry. I don't know. We'll see. I just feel like you're kind of burying this talent before she even has a chance to showcase her stuff in the main roster, which is the same old story we always see with what WWE does to NXT stars anyways. It's just very unfortunate. I don't know why they don't learn. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense. I am charging you for constantly repeating your mistakes. You have done this once, twice, 3 times, 1,000 times, and now it's time to put the cuffs on you for good and send you into the sin bin where you're going to spend a long, long time, WWE writers and Vince McMahon. Because God, hot diggity damn, I've only seen like 2 matches from her because she's in NXT UK, no?
Yeah, she also was on Mae Young Classic. So if you want to see some of that,
Okay.
she participated in the 2017 Mae Young Classic.
Okay, fair enough. So from what I've seen of her, she's really talented. She's better than Nia. She's better than, I would even say,
I don't even want to put her in the big girl category. She's better than Eva. She's better than Lana. She's better than Tamina. She's better than Natalia in terms of
she's better than
character work. Natalia has a technical skill that is very tough to argue against. So, but she has
the charisma of a rock, so it doesn't.
This kind of rolls back to our firings. Lana still has a job.
No, Lana doesn't. Lana got fired.
Oh, she did? Oh, thank God. Never mind.
Yep, Lana got fired in the June 2nd round.
Okay. Naomi still has a job.
Yeah, that's why Rusev said that my wife is sexy hot on AEW because she got fired.
And he thanked God for making him powerful and making his wife flexible.
And Naomi is never getting fired because she's married to I forget their last name.
To an NOI family.
NOI family, so she ain't going anywhere.
That is probably the biggest thing is the NOIE. Because we saw this week that they don't care about marriages because they fired Marina Shafir at the same week that they started giving Roddy Strong a new push. So
there are two marriages they care about. Anybody in the NOI family and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, if they ever get married.
Yeah.
Well, they're engaged, so they'll get married.
Because they even let El Idolo Andrade go, despite the fact that he's engaged to Charlotte Flair. So,
what was the surprise there, by the way, with Andrade?
He never actually released it because they were about to say it this week, and then the other tag team, and I'm totally blanking on their name, interrupted them. Anyways.
Oh,
so we never got the surprise.
I thought I missed it or something. Okay.
Yeah, they were about to announce it. They came out. It was right before. It's one of the few wrestling things that I was able to watch. It was right before one of the tag matches on AEW, and they come out. The first team comes out, and they come out, and they're starting to speak. And then the other team interrupts them and comes out to the ring, and I'm trying to remember which one it was.
It's gonna eat him alive, folks. Wait for it. Everyone else is screaming.
Oh, it wasn't tag team. It was Dante Martin versus Matt Sydal. That's who it was. But the Sydal brothers. That's why I thought it was tag team, because it was the Sydal brothers. Interrupted. So most likely, Matt Sydal will be the first person that Andrade destroys.
Yeah.
Which I'm down for, because that would be an exciting matchup.
Excuse me.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Fandango can replace Vicky as the
because he has the voice for radio.
Yes. That's right. Excuse me. I'd love to see Fandango do that exact gimmick. Just come out and be like, "Excuse me."
Quite frankly, I'm so sick of Vicky Guerrero. The monster from the cricket commercials could replace Vicky Guerrero, and I'd be just fine.
The monster in the cricket commercials works with WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sup, girl?
So they'd have to get gritty.
Hey, I'm
Gritty.
down for Gritty. Gritty's freaking
can-
awesome. Gritty
can have
lives
Gritty
everywhere.
everywhere.
Philadelphia
he's the
Flyer
mascot for the
mascot.
Philadelphia Flyers, and he's insane
Epic.
looking. He's
Epic. He has the charisma of 1,000 men. He's
wasn't
awesome.
he like the result of like a contest to replace the mascot a couple years ago?
No, he's actually the only mascot for the Flyers. That's Gritty's like the only mascot for the Flyers that they've ever had. I don't think they've had a mascot before. They just got one. I think there was a competition for his name. But they, what is it now? 3 years, I think.
Gritty was
been a
introduced
mascot?
on September 24th, 2018.
Yeah. So
They
4
didn't have a
years,
mascot before that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
No.
no, he was the replacement for the Philly Fanatic.
Philly Fanatic.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Philly
no,
Fanatic's
the Fanatic,
baseball.
the
Never
Fanatic
mind.
was Phillies. Yeah, the Philadelphia
Yeah,
Phillies.
baseball. Anyway, so yeah, Gritty is just fucking insane. If
He's just great. He's always doing funny stuff and interviews with like random people and just hilarious. You definitely got to watch some
Excuse
Gritty
me.
content.
Excuse me.
Gritty would be awesome. Although he never talks, so he would just go up with his googly eyes and go crazy.
I don't know why. I don't know why I-
voice.
I don't know why I like that so much, but I really love the idea of Fandango being the new Vicky Guerrero with the exact same gimmick.
I think you just like saying "excuse me."
I do.
I would have no problem with pretty much anybody. They can hire David Hasselhoff to be the replacement for Vicky Guerrero, and I'd be down with it.
While he's eating a burger.
Yeah, on the stage floor. I'd be fine. I would be 100% fine.
Oh my gosh. That'd be fantastic.
So
Do we want to inject Edge into this? Edge's fourth return in a year.
oh my
or
God,
do
Edge
we-
is back. Are you kidding me?
Or do we want to move on to the other
We can talk
Well, I
about
mean,
Edge coming back in the misdemeanors because I don't know
Okay.
if it's a
That's fair.
full-on crime.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Okay.
so either.
Get my,
It's definitely
get my
a
face
conversation
out front.
piece.
Well, I guess I'm solo now because the other two decided to shut off their cameras. We will move on to My Crime. And My Crime is the other one related to trademarks. And that is the news that came out this week that Keith Lee cannot trademark the name Keith Lee, which is also his real name, because WWE has trademarked the name Keith Lee without
Behind his back.
Keith Lee's knowledge. I mean, that's just insane that sentence even exists, as a logical something. Like, are you kidding me, WWE?
I feel like that's a lawsuit he could win.
I think if he fights it, he can probably. It all depends. Now the official trademark, they've applied for the trademark, but they haven't been fully granted it yet. So he'll be able to fight that, I think. But it's just the dumbest thing. Like, yes, I know WWE, you want to trademark everything, but he wrestled as Keith Lee for years on the Indies.
And that's his actual name.
That's his actual name.
Yeah, so I don't get quite how that happens technically. If it's your
They can-
legit name,
They can argue it because it's also his character on screen. I think they'll probably lose, but
I mean, I don't know the whole law and logistics behind it.
Here's
but
the
I
deal.
always assumed if it's your name, you can't trademark someone's name.
Oh, they
And I guess
absolutely
maybe-
can.
They can?
But it would have to be inadvertent, I would think.
well, you're supposed to. If you're trademarking a real person's name, you're supposed to have permission of that real person, and that's where this probably falls apart. But they
He was
can
doing
say
so good in NXT. This was never an issue. And then
he
all
was
of a
doing
sudden,
so good on the Indies, and he would be a fucking star in AEW now if he just didn't sign with NXT.
the key to it, I think, for him lies in the fact that that he has wrestled that way before and that it's his actual name. I think he can absolutely pull that back off. The question that makes me wonder about is did WWE do that and stop his run to buy time to do that? And if they did that, that's fucked up. Oh yeah, you're injured? Okay, you got that injury. Well, we're gonna keep you off the storyline for a little while longer. Well, we try and trademark your actual name.
I think it's almost the inverse. I think he went out and then he started to try to trademark his name, and then found out that they were trying to trademark it, and they've kept him off air because he's fighting their trademark.
That's messed up.
I think that's what's going on. But
I wonder
you know,
how much time he has left under contract.
If it was a standard 3-year deal, he probably has at least a year left.
Damn.
So, but we don't know.
But I mean, I guess then the copyright thing would still happen, right? Because then WWE would probably try to fight even more to get a
if
trademark.
WWE gets the trademark one way or another, it doesn't matter if he leaves or not. He can't use that name on the Indies, right? Even though he used the name on the Indies for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like at least with Donovan Dijak, when they made him change his name to Dijakovic, if he goes back to the Indies, he can go back to Donovan
Dijak. Yep.
But those are two. Keith Lee and Dijak are two that I just think, can you imagine how big they would be in AEW right now?
Oh.
If they just hadn't signed with
There'd be
one of them would be Kenny Omega.
Yeah, there'd be a title run on Keith Lee already.
Mm-hmm.
He would absolutely be the one that they would have take the title off of Omega.
I just, to the life of me, don't know how they can fuck up those two guys so much in main roster. Like, I just don't understand it.
Side note, who doesn't want to see Moose versus Keith Lee? We have seen both of those guys perform top rope Spanish flies on people.
Moose
That
versus
is unbelievable.
Dijak.
Yeah. Yeah, that tall, lanky, yeah. Oh, either one. Fantastic.
Guys, at this rate, I think it's just Moose versus everybody. We've always mentioned Moose versus this guy, Moose versus that guy.
Well, it's because Moose is he literally is the Roman Reigns of Impact. Everybody watches him. He's literally the big dog there. Everybody watches him. Everybody goes, wow, he's incredible. We wanted him. Every single person who watched that Moose versus Kenny Omega match wanted to see Moose beat Kenny Omega. That is over on a level that is very difficult to dispute. He is incredibly over. Moose versus everybody. Hashtag. I love it. I love it.
So
I'd watch that. I would watch that gauntlet match.
Yes, just line them up.
Just line them up.
Start off with the X division. You know, get them warmed up, loosened up, and then you can move on to the middleweights and.
That was a great signing for Impact, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Keith Lee, who would also be a great signing for Impact in the instance that this goes south with the WWE.
I don't think there's any way AEW won't grab that first, though. If AEW is gonna,
then that means he's on Impact right now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's true.
I kind of wish Tony Khan would just buy Impact. Like, I think earlier I argued against it, and I've changed my mind on it. I think they should 100% do like we mentioned WWE should have done with WCW and keep it separate. But own it, keep it separate.
You can even do the annual draft that WWE does. Mm-hmm. But
that's fine.
But that's the end of it.
Or the annual crossover pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Once a year. Right.
Once a year. And titles can change hands and everything.
Yep. AEW's Total Impact.
All three of the world titles that are in the two brands.
Mm-hmm.
TNA, Impact, and AEW.
Why would you say okay, because they have one title. Okay.
The TNA Championship and the Impact Championship.
I mean, doesn't really matter. Kenny Omega technically has all of them anyways.
Yeah. He'll lose them eventually.
Which actually leads you to yet another piece, very similar to something Impact did about 13 years ago now, when Kurt Angle had to defend all 3 Impact or TNA championships in the same night: the Tag Team Championship, the X Division Championship, and the TNA World Championship. I think is what it was still back then. I don't think it was Impact yet.
Yeah, I don't think it was Impact yet, but so that's I guess that's just my crime is like, seriously, WWE, why you gotta cockblock someone's own name?
That's about as messed up as it gets. Like I think that's the bigger story than the firings this week, because again, we said that the firings were not such a bad thing for most of the people involved. I think trying to steal somebody's literal name, that's pretty fucked up. Like, I don't know.
But again,
can you imagine if they tried to do that to John Cena? Who would we be watching in these movies? Or Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, I mean that's an important one. Dwayne Johnson had to fight for years to be able to use the name Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and then gave up. Just gave up, and that's why he goes by just Dwayne Johnson in the movies.
Well, I think now especially
and would be promoting WWE if they'd let him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he still kind of does, though. No.
He's credited just as Dwayne Johnson now. They sometimes will call him The Rock, but in his movies, he's officially just credited as Dwayne Johnson.
And I think that is more just because he's such a big blockbuster movie guy that he could remove The Rock, because everyone's still going to go see his movies, and Dwayne Johnson is what's up. Did that really have anything to do with the legal battle?
I'm going to say bullshit, because every time he's in a WWE produced movie, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson again.
Mm-hmm. He actually, again, this goes back to the relatively early days. He fought with WWE to be able to call himself Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and eventually just gave up on it, and then spent years developing the reputation as just Dwayne Johnson. He knew he had to build up that as himself, Dwayne Johnson.
And there was one of the two he did with Sean William Scott where he got to use The Rock again because WWE produced it. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember which one he did. Which one that was? Was that Walking Tall or the other one? That was
probably
Rundown.
The Rundown. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Walking Tall was Johnny Knoxville.
Yep. Walking
That's
Tall
right.
was Knoxville.
So The Rundown was produced with WWE, so it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It had been like 8 or 9 years since we'd heard him referred to as The Rock. In the latter Mummy movies, he was not allowed to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. In the Scorpion King movie, I think he still was, and then the Scorpion King 2, I think he was just Dwayne Johnson.
I had a thought, and I'm like, is there a Dwayne Johnson movie that I haven't seen?
Probably
Tooth Fairy?
No, you have a daughter. He has. Yeah.
I have seen Tooth Fairy, but I didn't get to see it until way later. But let's see here. Mummy Returns.
One of the Fast movies?
Because
those are shit.
I've seen every single Fast movie.
Oh, okay. You like watching shit. Okay.
They're Check Your Brain at the Door movies.
Which, by the way, apparently the new one, we obviously know it's going to be over extreme and unrealistic. But my friend went in, I haven't watched it yet, but my friend went in saying, okay, it's just going to be crap, whatever. But he's like, dude, there's just too much stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous to the point where you just can't even, you can't even put your imagination on hold anymore because it's just absolutely too much unrealistic crap to the point where you just can't even fasten what's going on. Like, it's too much. So I'm gonna still watch it because whatever, but
that's different than every review I've read of it. But so let's see, Mummy Returns I've seen, Scorpion King seen, The Rundown seen, Walking Tall seen, Be Cool I've seen, Doom I've seen. It sucks, but I've seen Southland Tales. I love it, even though it's like a fucking acid trip. Gridiron Gang I've seen, Reno 911 Miami I've seen, The Game Plan.
I have not seen that one.
I have not seen that one either. I don't think.
Reno 911 Miami?
Nope.
No.
Awesome. He's a very small part. Very
Oh,
small
okay.
part. Race to Witch Mountain, I've seen. Planet 51, it's just a voice role, though, so I don't know if I've seen that one. That might be the only one. Tooth Fairy, I've seen. Why Did I Get Married 2? He had a cameo in it. I don't know if I've seen that one, but it was just a cameo. The other guys, You Again, he had a cameo. Faster, I've seen. Fast 5. Journey 2, Mysterious Island, I've seen. Snitch, I've seen. G.I. Joe Retaliation, I've seen. Pain and Gain, I've seen. Fast and Furious 6, I've seen. Empire State. I think I've actually seen that one. I think it was on TNT not too long ago. Hercules, I've seen. Fast 7, I've seen. San Andreas, I've seen. Central Intelligence, I've seen. Moana. I have a daughter. I have seen Moana.
A bunch of times.
A lot. Fate of the Furious, I've seen. Baywatch.
What can I say?
have
You're
seen.
welcome.
What can I say?
Baywatch was-
except you're
You're
Baywatch,
welcome.
I've seen a couple times because it's
Really?
actually pretty fucking funny.
Uh,
The scene where the main guy, the chubby guy, falls on, it's pretty early on, falls on a bench, and then gets a boner because the hot girl comes by, and so she's trying to talk him out of it so that he can get out of it because he's stuck to the chair, and he's like, "You're not helping. You're not helping." So Dwayne Johnson had to come along and save his boner from this chair.
it had funny moments for sure.
Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji, I've seen. Rampage, I've seen. Skyscraper, I've seen. Fighting with My Family, I've seen. Shazam, he was executive producer, so he wasn't in it, but I have seen it. Hobbs and Shaw, I've seen. Jumanji The Next Level, I've seen. And then Jungle Cruise hasn't officially come out yet, but I will probably see it. Free Guy hasn't come out yet, but he's apparently got a cameo in that. So yeah, I think I've seen every movie that he had a major role in.
I can happily say that I have not.
Yeah, I've seen a majority of those, but there's certainly a few I've missed. I didn't see Doom fully, which I know I'm not missing much,
Pretty crappy.
and a few other ones, But yeah, I'll see his bigger ones for sure.
But then, anyways, back to the original point, because we went on a tangent, because ADD
You went
is
on a
fucked.
tangent. You went on a tangent.
Is he had to make an effort to establish himself in Hollywood as not The Rock, as Dwayne Johnson, because he knew that WWE wouldn't allow him to call himself The Rock in other movies, and for him to be a household name, he had to make it on his own.
Right.
It's also why his ex-wife is also his producing partner and manager, and she's brilliant because she helped him through that. Which I guess is one example of exes working better apart than together, I guess.
Oh, my exes are twats. That's it. That's all I got.
It's a great song.
I
I'd
might actually have
stream it
listened
on
to that
Spotify.
song.
I
Hit
can
him with
sing
the
it.
hard T.
I can also sing that in the format of twat, twat, twat. She is,
Twat,
which
twat.
is kind of fuck the police, but only twat. My ex-wife.
Well, you could do it to the tune of Little John Shot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Twat, 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 twat.
My exes. Twat. Jesus. So I guess it's time to wrap up.
I forget that my face is on this now, and that could actually come back to bite me in the ass.
We didn't say which
well.
ex it was.
Yeah,
We didn't say which twat it was.
we actually said all of them. Literally all of them is what I
Yeah,
said.
you did.
All of them, but the previous last one.
But this
Except for
is
the
like-
baby mama, because that could bite me in the ass. That's the only one that could bite me in the ass. So
Stop
we'll
talking.
say it.
We're
Stop talking.
yeah.
Fuck.
That's,
Shit.
Twat.
Fuck.
Well, ain't that twatterific?
but what is twatterific is the stupid dick move that WWE is doing, and
sure.
Can you imagine all the other people that if they did that with Roman Reigns? Okay, yeah, you're not gonna call Joe Anoa'i. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do. There's a lot of people who have stage names. Keith Lee's stage name is his actual name.
Mm-hmm.
What was Roman's name in when he did? Was it Hobbs and Shaw or the other fast one? I think it was Hobbs and Shaw.
I think he was credited as Joseph Anoa'i. But
yeah, so
because I think he called up his cousin The Rock and said, "Hey, since we're going to be in this movie together, what should I credit as?" And Dwayne Johnson was like, "No, use your real name."
Yeah, don't give WWE any freaking
no free shit. It's a rare occurrence. It's happened with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. It's happened with John Cena. It's happened with Keith Lee. It's a rare occurrence that somebody's actual name is their stage name. The interesting part to that is if you're signing with WWE, be ahead of the curve enough to encourage WWE to use your name if you're going to continue to wrestle under it. The best examples I can think of this are like Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio Jr., who actually switched to Rey Mysterio for WWE. This is truly a sign to those people. Anybody signing right now,
fun fact:
do that.
Rey Mysterio's name is not actually Rey Mysterio.
Okay, but his performing name, Chris Jericho's real name isn't Chris Jericho.
It is indeed not.
Steve Austin's real name isn't Steve Austin.
Steve Anderson.
Steve Williams. Steve Williams. Yeah, but Dr. Death had it at the time, so they gave him a different name. So, but Steve Austin owns the rights to the name Steve Austin so that he can use it in things like Broken Skull Sessions and maybe WWE is the only one who produces anything with Steve Austin in it.
In Hobbs and Shaw, his official credited name was Joe, quote, Roman Reigns Anoa'i.
So it was at least on loan from WWE.
Okay.
So yeah, they must have. And here's the next thing is.
Well, I didn't know for sure if Roman Reigns' real name is Joe Anoa'i because it could be a different last name. He could just be a descendant of that family.
His real last name is Anoa'i. His real first name is Liotti. Joseph is his middle name.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of interesting to see how that law works. I guess you would have to look at because WWE's main stuff is in Connecticut, so how Connecticut treats trademarks for legit real names, because I imagine every state is perhaps different with that.
Most trademarks are federal, so
federal.
It's across all the states.
Excuse me, I killed the fly.
You can trademark it in one region, but WWE wouldn't do that because they perform in every region, so they want to trademark in every region. So, like if you've got a business, if I were to start a Detective Smarks business here in Omaha, I could just trademark it at the local trademark level if I didn't ever
would be cheaper
to market it outside of this area, but
we're worldwide.
Yes,
which is why Turks and Caicos needs to sponsor us, and I have a hat that says that.
To. God darn them! But
they don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, but that's all I got. Really,
we're a top 50% in the world podcast.
But I just think WWE is doing just a total dick move on this, and it's just like, what is the benefit for them to get Keith Lee's name trademarked? Aside from we can fire Keith Lee and then he can't ever wrestle as that again.
That's it. That's what it is.
Well, the other piece is negotiation, you know.
Do you want to stay? Hey, if you
I
stay
don't
with
know.
My company.
I don't know that people don't figure it out. I mean, none of us went, John Moxley, who the hell's that?
Yeah,
that's because that was his. Thank God they changed Dean Ambrose, because John Moxley, a lot of people already knew his indie stuff and whatever. So,
but
you know that worked.
But if Seth went somewhere else, and he's going to go back to Tyler Black, and nobody's going to go, oh, Tyler Black. He could even go to Colby Lang, and everybody's going to go, that's Seth freaking Rollins.
For sure.
So I think the real lesson that should come out of this is
Use a stage name. Even if
well,
it's
and more specifically, if you are going to make the mistake of signing with WWE, which don't get me wrong, I 100% think that for most independent wrestlers right now, signing a real contract with WWE is a mistake.
Except for this part.
Except for the money, and even then, it's a short-term win over long-term losses, I think. But if you are going to make the mistake of signing with WWE, then protect yourself, and either us fans like to rally and rail against you changing your name when you go to WWE, and we did it with Taya Valkyrie when she came in as Frankie Monet, but probably has the right idea. Come up with a fake name, start a fake name in WWE, let them use that, let them trademark it, use the crap out of it, and then when you leave, you can go back to whatever the fuck you want, right?
Make sure that your face is the thing that people recognize you by.
Exactly.
Who gives a rip about your name?
Yeah. Make sure that whatever name you want to use post WWE is not the name you use in WWE, right? If you want to be forever known as Jon Moxley, then don't use Jon Moxley in WWE, which he didn't, right? If you want to be forever known afterwards as Tyler Black or Donovan Dijak or whatever, don't use it in WWE. I think and I'll be the first to say it. I gave WWE all sorts of crap for changing wrestlers' names when they didn't need to. I think WWE's stupid for doing it, but I now think that the wrestlers are smart for doing it.
I mean, we've had two hosts. One host changed titles. He was an officer, now he's a detective. And as DA Vincent K something, I used to be a different Fabe. I used to be a different kayfabe. It was I am kayfabe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that at all.
It was like 3 episodes, but there you have it. I can't go to another podcast and be I am kayfabe or DA Vincent kayfabe because you had to freaking
get those DA Vincent kayfabe trademark monies.
Yeah. Thank God I can just be Vincent kayfabe because that's my real name. Thank God you only took my title away.
Yeah, 100%.
By the way, if you want to see if that story is true or not, scan my boob. Scanmyboob.com. Scan my boob. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm so lost, but I got the merch, so that's what matters.
That's what matters. In terms of, I guess we'll go to misdemeanors.
Are we ready for that?
We will go to misdemeanors.
I do have
ScanMyBoob.com.
Not an actual website, but it might be.
If it's cheap enough, it might be soon.
So watch out. There's another hurricane coming through, and that is none other than Miss Superhero Nikki Cross. Now listen. At first, we all were hating it, and then we found out that, she was the one that created it, and she wanted to do it, and everyone was on board with, okay, that's cool.
We're also pretty sure Molly's helping her with it, which is a good thing.
Is that a fact? Yeah.
We hope Molly's helping her. She's backstage.
We're pretty sure that this is speculation. Molly was recently hired backstage, and now there's a female superhero. Molly's probably done the best with the superhero gimmick of anybody because she actually held the title after that. So,
So I don't know though. We'll see what happens. It's only been 1 week. I'm not gonna maybe rag on it too much, as we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I don't feel like this is the era of when Molly Holly did it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be it's not the same WWE at all from when Molly Holly did it. It was more jokes. The writing was at least a little bit better to. So I don't know. Vince likes these kind of things, I feel. So I guess that's a good thing, and maybe he'll give more leniency towards what Nikki Cross would want to do, and hopefully Molly's helping her out. But honestly, you got to change up that gear a bit. Get a new little eye mask, because that eye mask was horrendous. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird. I personally liked her Sanity character, Psychopath. I think she does that really well. She might be maybe a bit too energetic for a superhero, as superheroes aren't overly charismatic as Nikki is. So that's why I maybe don't see it fitting her too well. She's kind of all over the place. But perhaps we'll have to wait and see. Just curious to what you guys maybe think of superhero Nikki.
Well, if you'd like to know what we think of it, you should watch our FBI episode from Tuesday that you were not on, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Smarks, I didn't mean to take that one away from you.
No, you're fine.
It's almost like we talked about it. I don't hate it. I really don't. I don't think it's the best use of Nikki. I think that she could be... I'm going to watch. I'm going to look at it first. Scanmyboob.com. Hey, that's not too bad.
$12
For a year?
Yep.
That's not bad for the first year.
I feel like I'm ready to Venmo you that right now. Just use it from the merch proceeds. There might be enough out of that. There is enough out of that. I know there is. I know the percentages. You best be registering Scan My Boob.
You know the person who bought them, right?
Yes, I do. So, Scan My Boob automatically goes to our link tree. That would be awesome. Redirect. Anyway, oh, that looks like a cartoon character from the 80s. Anyway, I hate snapbacks. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. There we go. Two guys rocking snapbacks. Is yours Velcro?
Nope, mine's a full snapback.
I hate it. Anyway,
my hair's too long to do like yours though, because it hangs down like Michael Jackson. Hee hee.
So
that was the worst Michael Jackson impression ever.
There we go. That's about right there. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and say I don't hate the whole Nikki thing. I don't think it's a great move. I don't think it's a bad move. But any way we can get more additional wrestlers, more additional women's production is going to be good right now. One of the terrifying things you look at SmackDown right now, I think SmackDown's roster has 4 viable women right now. 4.
Trying to think of
Sasha. So you got
Sasha,
obviously Bianca. Sasha's not performing
Bayley.
right now. Sasha's not performing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
She might be filming, but she's not performing. So you got Sasha, Bayley, you got Naomi, and Naomi's tag partner.
Well, yeah, Naomi's
she's a former champion.
But Naomi's on Raw now.
Yeah.
Is she? Oh shit. Well, fuck. There you have it.
Yeah, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Carmella.
Yeah, Carmella, fine. Liv Morgan, I'm gonna want to put her. I'd put her up there, man. I'm really want her to win the money.
I would, but obviously WWE doesn't because they fire everyone she's ever involved with.
Yeah, that's valid.
So Mia Yim is technically on SmackDown, but she hasn't actually shown on SmackDown.
She hasn't debuted yet.
Since they put her over there. So. Sonya Deville's still technically on SmackDown, but reports came out this week that don't expect her to wrestle anytime soon. She's happy with her authority figure role.
SmackDown could be a rough spot. They could really discredit very, very quickly Bianca Belair if they don't start throwing somebody else at her other than Sasha or Bianca.
Bayley.
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the proper move is to start having people pop around a little bit in those women's divisions. I think you need a premium title and a secondary title, and that
You don't have enough.
women's
Well, they
brand can
don't-
be on both sides, both lines.
Not. Well, they already have that though. Technically, no. Can't the tag teams go on each
Yeah.
brand?
Tag teams
They
go
just
on
don't
each
know what they're. They just don't know what they're doing with. The
I
tag
think,
teams, so,
um,
men or women. So
I think the real thing is, if they really wanted their women's division on either show to be good long term, they should have, I don't know, not fired so many women's wrestlers.
What?
it's a valid
Wait,
point.
are you saying you think Marina Shafir could have been one of those women's wrestlers that they use?
Quite possibly, or a Mickey James.
A future Hall of Famer? No,
Oh,
no.
no.
Or Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green or Ruby Riot, who was
Riot.
actually on SmackDown.
Or the Iconics?
Or the Iconics. That's an iconic answer right there, good sir.
You had
That
the
being
strongest women's division in all of wrestling. And you pissed it away because now it's only 7 women.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Hey, in related news, one of my misdemeanors is sort of related to that. And that is that they're starting to give tryouts on Main Event to fucking NXT people to
see
see
that,
how they
yeah.
might use them on the main roster. And the reports have it that Scarlett Bordeaux is going to be on Main Event as her tryout for the main roster. Important to note that her tryout is being done separately from Karrion Kross's tryout, which was last week's one, which was like, I'm not talking about the match, just the debut entrance ramp thing. They used basically the same music, but he had no smoke, no, any of that, no flashing lights, any of that. He literally looked like Wish.com's Karrion Kross coming out. He walks out with the lights all on him, and he stands in the ring, and he does his little pose, but with none of the smoke and all that stuff. It just looked like, who bought Walmart Karrion Kross, man? We need the real brand stuff.
And I wonder what they're going to do when they do go live, because usually the main event is on SmackDown, no? When do they film it? I think it's
I don't
Raw,
honestly
maybe,
know.
actually.
Yeah, if SmackDown's doing 205 Live, then they're probably doing it at Raw.
Main event on Raw. And then so NXT, what do you do there? Because now, at this rate, you have all 3 shows going to different places, right? It's not always in the... From what I remember, at least. 'Cause
Yeah,
NXT
they'll be touring at different locations, yes.
That's the way it used to be, but they're doing a thing now. Their house shows they're doing is super shows, which would mean both rosters in one show. That's what, at least so far, it's looking like.
So they're going to be, if they, just as an example, we're going to use Minnesota because it's a very easy location for a lot of people to understand. The 2 metro areas of Minnesota are St. Paul and Minneapolis, right next to each other. So you have Raw filmed at Minneapolis, SmackDown filmed at St. Paul, and then a super show in between at a different location.
Yes.
NXT at a different arena. Multiple arena locations is what you're thinking. Or New York, Barclays. Barclays, the place where the first Raw happened, and Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. So, like, right now, their taping schedule, and I gotta go once they start the tour.
Kansas City.
They've got Raw in Dallas. They got SmackDown then in Cleveland, Ohio, on July 23rd. And July 24th, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they're calling a super show. And that's going to have both rosters. And then Louisville, Kentucky is a super show on the July 25th. Then July 26th, the Monday night, it's going to be in Kansas City. And then SmackDown in Minneapolis. And then a super show Saturday night in Milwaukee, a super show Sunday night in Detroit. And then Monday night, Chicago, Illinois for Raw. Friday night, SmackDown in Tampa, Florida. then a super show in Myers, Florida, and then a super show in Gainesville, Florida. So, so basically, they're not doing live shows Tuesday,
Every
Wednesday,
day
Thursday.
kind of thing. Okay.
They're doing shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And the two in the middle are going to be super shows, except for when they're pay-per-views. Like, then, they'll do
SummerSlam and whatever.
Friday night. Yeah, so like Friday night SmackDown in Phoenix, Arizona on August 20th. Then SummerSlam on August 21st, Saturday. Then a super show on Sunday. And then Monday Night Raw on San Diego on Monday. So
Monday Night Raw.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how the fans are going to start reacting, though, because then that's hopefully what would kind of let Vince know what the heck is going on. Because I understand that it's hard to kind of know without any fans and you piping in all the sounds. I do get that. All the other brands, well, AEW at least has done it. NXT technically has crowds, but no one else does. I don't count Thunderdome as a crowd. So, yeah, we'll see. I hope the live shows finally kick WWE in the keister to finally get some decent stuff going on. Hopefully that was their plan all along. We're not going to waste our good stuff now. We're going to wait until there's a crowd. And with what we hear about what's happening with SummerSlam, John Cena coming back, Seth Rollins versus Edge.
I still 100% doubt John Cena actually wrestles.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with The Rock. I don't think he actually wrestles. He even mentioned in an interview that getting clearance from his insurance to wrestle with his movie schedule is a nightmare. So,
I think John Cena interferes in the Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Interfering might happen. Wrestling an actual match, I don't think happens. Same thing with The Rock. I don't think he's going to be able to get clearance to do a full match.
I think Cena could get clearance for WrestleMania if he starts planning now, which means he could interfere there and have a WrestleMania versus.
The importance for him to get clearance to wrestle at a WrestleMania, he's got to be 100% between movies.
Yep.
And I'd say 100% meaning no potential reshoots. Right. Which
no reshoots and no starting schedule within like 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you have to get paid. You have to get paid Brock money to do that.
Yeah. Basically, he has to basically not schedule a movie for the rest of that year.
Yeah.
Because the insurance companies don't want to risk the movie having to be delayed because John Cena tore his ACL.
Which affects Fast 74.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing with The Rock. That's what plays into why I don't think we'll see him in an actual match anytime soon. We might see him interfere. He might come out and attack Roman Reigns, but I just don't say we'll see him in an actual match.
If he attacks Roman Reigns, you'll know that within 2 years, it'll be a WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns and The Rock. Mm-hmm. But you don't know that it won't be 2 years out.
Yeah.
Like, it could feasibly take that long.
Movie contracts, the insurance will sometimes say they can't even ride a motorcycle. You're not allowed to ride a motorcycle because you could injure yourself on a motorcycle. You're not allowed to go rock climbing because you could injure yourself rock climbing. You're not allowed to eat dairy because you're lactose intolerant. Well, okay, maybe that's not it. Maybe exactly.
You'll get the Hershey squirts.
Although, if you are lactose intolerant, you probably shouldn't eat dairy. Just word of advice.
It's a bad decision. Yeah, it's a poor decision. Yeah.
Yeah. You could take a Lactaid maybe and be okay with it.
What the hell was this misdemeanor? Shit.
It was mine we're still doing?
I think so.
Babe put himself up, or Smarks put himself up.
No, because we moved on to JLB. I just didn't have him up yet, I think.
Oh, okay. So this is still superhero Nikki?
Superhero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on, guys.
You popped on. I'm
What do you
gonna
do?
go
I
with
was talking.
Edge.
I was talking about the Keith Lee thing, but we'd gotten way off that a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's
I know, but then we
So-
did the misdemeanor for Nikki, and
then you
then
were
you're
gonna
up
do one.
next. Yeah,
Yeah, you were gonna do one, but I don't know. I don't. Maybe you
But
did have
you
one.
never said it. You never said it though.
me. I said the
You
Keith
do.
Lee thing because yours Nikki Cross one was first.
That was
Nikki Cross was a misdemeanor. Keith Lee wasn't a misdemeanor. It was an actual crime.
Yeah, one job.
No, I did. Anyways,
That-
was
Anyway,
talking
so what
about
is
the-
your misdemeanor? Apparently,
Well,
the Keith Lee thing.
it doesn't matter.
Still
Here.
Keith Lee.
The only thing that I was talking about at this was because I brought myself up at one point mentioning how because Da Fabe was talking about the lack of women's wrestlers, and I mentioned that
Oh yeah.
they were
Right.
bringing up Scarlett Bordeaux to wrestle, but I don't know. Maybe you don't fire Zelina Vega.
Oh,
God, we could just keep naming them. Like we could do a whole show of bad fires on women's wrestlers. We could name more bad fires on women's wrestlers than good fires on men's wrestlers. And there are some good fires on men's wrestlers. It's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Very clever.
You know, I was just thinking if you just took all of the wrestlers WWE released this year and made your own wrestling promotion, you'd have a pretty fire wrestling promotion.
You really would. Yeah, you'd probably have the number 3, maybe number 4. You'd probably beat ROH. And maybe beat Impact. But I think Impact's agreement with AEW helps them a little bit. Like
Doesn't
if all
necessarily
of them
help them.
saved their nickels and dimes, they could pull off a second Cody Rhodes production.
Because yeah, I mean you'd have Killian Dane, you'd have Kurt Stallion and August Gray, who we don't know anything about. But the funny thing is, as August Gray was actually had been taped to be on 205 Live this week. And then he got fired. So he tweeted out, "Tonight's 205 Live main event has just been turned into a loser leaves town match. Don't miss it." You'd have Marina Shafir. You'd have the Bollywood Boys. You'd have Tyler Breeze and Fandango. You'd have Arturo Ruiz, Tony Nese, Ariane Daivari, Everrise, Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Lana, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir again now. You'd have Andrade, although he's now been signed with AEW, sort of. You'd have Lars Sullivan, if you cared.
No.
Steve Cutler, who has now shown up on Impact Wrestling. Samoa Joe is back on WWE, so we can take him out of this. But Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, Bo Dallas, Wesley Blake. That right there is a lineup
fire
that would be.
promotion.
You could literally
fire
put together a We Got Fired pay-per-view of your own and have tournament style setup for a men's championship, a men's trophy, a women's trophy, a tag team trophy, and potentially a women's tag trophy. You could do 1989. What is that thing that we watched that we did the review on with Sting and Ric Flair and
Tag Team
and,
Classics. I
Oh
forgot what
yeah,
it's called.
I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Yes, someone needs to do this. Absolutely.
Yes, just get them all. Just a one-off paper.
You know what? Vince Russo, you want to prove that you can do this. Listen to their input because it's only a one-time show. So if this is a one-time show, I don't think Vince Russo fucks this up. Maybe he does. He probably
Yeah,
does.
he probably does.
But anyway, Vince Russo, prove to us. Take
Yes.
all those wrestlers and give us a one-time pay-per-view.
Yep, just one time. That's all it needs to be. We got fired. Give us jobs.
Unjustified, the pay-per-view. I gave you the name, Russo. Do it. I'm challenging you.
Yeah.
And I'll be in a match with you. But somebody gets to interfere and make it so that I win.
Yeah, it can be a DA contract on a pole match.
That means I got to climb the ropes, dude.
Knowing him,
no.
he'd probably put. Knowing him, Vince
I'll have Tyler Breeze and Fandango help me out. We're good. We're good.
no,
Fandango.
he'd have a garbage bag on a pole match, and it'd be like Mickey James versus someone, because Vince
Wow.
Russo is gonna play off things.
Wow. Why you got to do that, man?
Because Vince Russo would do that.
He could have Judy Bagwell on a pole, the return. And just, I don't know, is Judy Bagwell still alive?
I didn't
Don't
want to
look
say
up.
that.
Why are you looking that up? Stop it. Anyway, moving forward, I'm going to move on to my misdemeanor. You can switch the screen whenever you want. Edge has returned 4. Not 1 time, not 2 times, not 3 times, but 4 times since he's been back.
Oh.
He's been back a year and a half. 4 times he's had a return. 3 of which were this year.
Well, good news is we might get Edge versus Seth, which I'm kind of down for SummerSlam.
Oh, that's yippee-ki-yay. Edge versus Seth. Is Judy Bagwell still alive?
As far
Did
as
you
I
find
can
it
tell,
yet?
yes, she is.
Okay.
But,
So Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
I mean, Buff obviously needs the job right now, so he needs to pay for bail money.
pay per
anyways.
bail. Pay per bail.
But no, I'm 100% down with you on this thing. Is you can only hype the oh my god someone returned so many
So
times
much.
in a 2-year span.
I will say it was too many times with Jericho. 4 times from 2000 to 2017, I think is when he left. Finally, 4 times in 17 years, or 99 to 17. 4 times in 17 years, Jericho had some type of show-up surprise on WWE, and it was too many.
The thing is, like, the only time a show-up surprise like this actually works is when it's either the person is not with the company, like
Jericho's
Brock Lesnar,
first one.
Jericho's first one, he wasn't with the company, or Brock Lesnar, whose contract expires and then he just doesn't have a contract and he lives in his fucking house in Montana and doesn't do shit, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden appears. That's one thing. And so Edge appearing at the Royal Rumble a year ago was a big surprise because he was not an active wrestler. He didn't have an active contract. He wasn't with the company, right?
Yep.
Him appearing at Royal Rumble this year was like,
Edge. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
And then him appearing on SmackDown. Oh my goodness. Don't care. I mean, I like to see Edge. I'm happy for him and everything, but it's not a surprise return.
Last year, it was after WrestleMania, he took a brief hiatus after the match with Randy Orton, and then had yet another match series with Randy Orton by attacking him 2 months later.
Yep.
So there's 4 total visits. 4 total visits that were, oh, Edge is here.
I can't believe he came back.
I mean, it's the equivalent of trying to hype up Sting's every single time Sting comes to the ring. Tony Schiavone saying,
Interesting.
"Wait, Tony, this was actually scheduled."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's who it is.
I'm standing here to interview him. I know.
Like, it was cool you
Yeah.
did it the first time. It's cool
Like-
you did it the first time. I get you want to do the
Well, here's
nostalgia
the
from
deal
WCW, but
The difference with Tony Schiavone is that's his way of announcing it's Sting, and he's not acting like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's Sting, which is what they did on SmackDown. They're like, oh my god, it's Edge. What, you're surprised that an employee showed up to his job?
Yeah, yeah, which was in the title hunt. I don't know, 2 months ago. He was in a match for the title.
and
2 months
Roman
ago.
already had said, I've beaten everybody, and I laid them on top of each other, and then hey, Edge just comes back. Well, I'm still gonna face you again just because, like.
Well, and in Edge's defense, he hasn't had a one-on-one title shot with Roman.
I get it.
So I suppose it's fine, but don't pretend it's a surprise.
Yeah.
That's literally it's literally like seeing Big E come out. Oh my gosh, it's Big E.
Right.
He was on the
It's
show.
Kofi!
He was on the show last week. Like,
Yeah.
why is this a
We
big?
interviewed him earlier in this show.
Yeah,
He was backstage with Xavier.
it's Sami Zayn.
I guess the only way I give it a little bit of a pass is if Edge had, instead of having his music hit and him come out the normal way, if he had just hopped in the ring and delivered a spear, and then it's a surprise,
Yes.
whatever. But when someone's music hits, that you can't act surprised because someone
granted, the music
backstage
hitting-
had to cue up his music.
Okay,
Roman
stop
could
thinking
absolutely act surprised. Roman did exactly what he should do. Roman went, what the hell is this sumbitch coming out for?
And I'm sorry, that's some great
It's
surprise
fine.
music too. You think you know me, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the commentary actually said, what? Did you not know who that is that goes, you think you know me?
Who's this?
I
Well,
guess
I mean,
'cause it's
in
just
fairness,
been a
they didn't know
while.
who Piper Niven was, so I guess
That's true.
maybe
That's
they
legit.
just have the memories of Goldfish. Who's
that's
this?
Goldberg.
No, Goldfish have no memories.
Oh.
They only remember about 5 minutes at a time.
Unless
that's
you're
what-
in Finding Nemo, it's only 10 seconds.
Those aren't
That's-
goldfish.
Yeah,
Those are
Oh,
seriously.
that's valid. Valid clownfish.
Jeez.
My
Clownfish and
apologies.
angelfish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But that's my point. I think the announcers at WWE just have memories that are about 5 minutes long. So if you're out of their sight for more than 5 minutes, they've forgotten all about you.
Oh my god, it's Dewdrop! 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 Dewdrop!
It's Sting! What? So anyway,
Anyways.
that's I yes, you can blow up a wrestler for their big return. I'm all for it. Yes, Edge is one that you can do that with. The unfortunate part is they've spent so many years relying on these blow-ups from the past that the only blow-up that's left, really, in my opinion, that can get that isn't active, that hasn't recently been active, is CM Punk. It's really the only
Right.
one that you can go, oh my god! Like you could not bring.
Oh.
I don't even think you could bring Braun Strowman back into it.
I think if you bring Brock, though, it'll happen.
But we've
Brock
seen
being
it
back will be
dozens of times with Brock.
but we still haven't seen him in a while, so it'll be like, oh my god,
I
think that
say,
might
oh
be
my
good.
god.
No,
No.
that's because you read the dirt sheets.
No, even without that, there has not been a time in the past 3 years that Brock showed up that I was like, oh my god, because
It's Brock.
it's to the point where you just expect it to happen, right?
It really
In
is.
fact, I am literally more surprised when a major pay-per-view happens and Brock doesn't show up.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
valid.
oh, WrestleMania and no Brock? Wow, that surprises me. Because it's the one thing Vince McMahon thinks he can rely on to pop ratings, is bring back stars of the past. And in his mind, right now, in terms of active wrestlers, the biggest star is Brock. That's the biggest moneymaker for him, right? If he could bring back circa 1996 Hulk Hogan, he would. But he can't. Hulk Hogan is too old to do it and broken down to do it and too racist to do it.
It's Hulk Hogan.
The racist.
He's not
It's okay.
racist. Some of his best friends are black.
So it's okay. Virgil got him good when he charged his daughter $20 for a photo. Because hey, I don't care who your daddy is, you still paying $20 for a photo and $30 to get it signed by me. He could just easily be clowning around, but I hope to God he actually charged her. But Virgil's tweets are freaking hilarious.
My favorite Twitter is the Iron Sheik's Twitter.
For sure. He's up to date with everything. He even mentioned the Montreal Canadiens, and I was like, what?
Yeah, he doesn't mess around, but his tweets are always in all caps, and it's always
like this guy talks about everything. Exactly. He talks about the UFC. He talks about the Logan Paul stuff. He talks about hockey. Like, this guy's really up to date. I'm like, damn, bro. Good for you.
Let's see his most recent tweet. An hour ago. If you say one more trip around the sun to describe your birthday, go fuck yourself.
It's valid, though. Oh, I made another trip around the sun. It's a valid point. I agree with that. I concur, Iron Sheik. I concur.
Let's see. On a lazy Sunday afternoon, go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's great.
Hello, at Mick Jagger. If you know it's only rock and roll, but you like it, then what the fuck is the big deal?
Go fuck yourself.
If you don't love the Blazing Saddles, you're a dumb, no good piece of shit, low life motherfucker. I never respect you, jabroni.
Damn.
Oh, 14 hours ago. I scream, you scream, we all scream, go fuck yourself. That one gets a like.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I definitely like that one. That's hilarious.
Rise and shine, fuckface.
Oh, man.
Iron Sheik from 2 days ago. If all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray, it must be the fucking jabroni climate change. Iron Sheik's the best. I love him. I don't really have any commendations for this week, mostly because I didn't get to watch much wrestling.
That's valid.
I have one.
Okay.
It's Piper. Piper's acting was exceptional when she was called Dewdrop.
Yep.
Like I was like, oh, she genuinely is pissed off. Like, I know she knew it was coming, but she was like,
probably
what the
didn't.
fuck?
Who the fuck knows? She probably didn't. She probably literally with genuine reactions are like, what? What's going on here? Dewdrop? What the fuck? It's very possible she didn't know. They probably wanted to get her legit reaction, so it's very possible she didn't know.
Who knows?
My accommodation, honestly, would probably go to Roman Reigns. Man, this guy every week just kills at being this head of the table. And it's
Dick.
I thought you're a dick, and I thought I would get tired of it, but man, am I here for it. Why is the other Uso not there? What's going on with that? Just off TV or
Not part of the table.
but why? He was like the one that was hardcore part of the table.
Yeah. Jey Uso is missing right now.
Oh, Jay's missing right now. I thought it was Jimmy still that was gone.
No, Jimmy is the one that's taken Jay's place for some reason, who originally wasn't down to be part of the table. And the hardcore, his right-hand man, is now missing. So I don't know what kind of story they're trying to tell here.
Yeah, they don't have him officially listed as injured, so.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I don't know.
Like, just build up an Uso thing, man. Like, you're just right there. Just do it. Maybe that's what they're gonna do for SummerSlam, or that's what they want to wait for a live crowd. So,
Triple
that
threat:
could be it.
the Usos and Roman Reigns. Then the Usos tag team up on Roman Reigns and beat Roman Reigns for the title.
I'd
They
be
take
down.
turns swapping the title each week. They just lay down for each other. Oh yeah, I gotta have a title match. It's against Jay. Oh yeah, I gotta have a title match. It's against Jimmy. God, that'd be a great storyline. It would just piss everybody off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until Roman comes back and it just takes it again because.
Well, Roman would just use like the Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber, a multi-man match to just take it off of one of them.
Yeah.
But if you did that like right after after Royal Rumble, just before Elimination Chamber, I think you could pull that off, and people would be really irritated.
I have a nice twist to this whole thing. You put the belt on, let's say Jey Uso, right? And then you have a challenger, like an Edge come and challenge Jey Uso for the belt. And so Jey Uso ends up signing a contract to defend, to wrestle against Edge. But the SmackDown before the pay-per-view, Jey Uso wrestles a
Loses
title
it
match
to
against Jimmy Uso. So he doesn't have the belt anymore. But he still wrestles against Edge. Edge just can't win the belt. And then
God,
that's so
that would
silly.
be such a wonderful twin magic setup. That's way better than twin
Yeah.
magic.
And then
Definitely better than
the
Twin
next
Magic.
month, the pay-per-view, Edge is like, okay, fine. I'm going to wrestle against you, Jimmy Uso.
Jimmy. And right before it,
And then
SmackDown.
SmackDown before.
Another finger poke of doom. Oh my
Keep
God.
passing it off. And like, I don't know why you keep wrestling the one who doesn't have the belt.
You just need to sign a better contract, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. And I guess the other big news of the week was the whole viral. There was a video of one of the Bella twins talking about China on an interview with Joan Rivers back in like 2013, and they called China a man, and Joan Rivers said that China's vagina looks like a penis or something. I mean, people were like going crazy and like trying to cancel the Bella twins. Guys, this first of all, this is 2013. So Joan Rivers is still alive, obviously. China is still alive. This is when WWE still hated her guts. Probably wasn't right for the Bella twins to even say anything, because at the end of the day, China is one of the women you probably looked up to become a female wrestler. She is one of the GOATs of all time back then. But I mean, like, people are just going crazy. Like, guys, this was done in the past. WWE hated her back then. Like,
Yeah.
Twitter
I don't know.
spear, calm your tits.
In the end, it comes down to these are all of these situations are solved by remorse, right? If the Bella twins come out and were to say, "Listen, we had totally forgot about that interview. We realized we said things that were hurtful, and we apologize for them," and gave a real apology, I think everyone would just move on.
Yeah.
Silence is what makes these things worse. The fact that they haven't issued any sort of apology statement. You know, a lot of us say shit in our past that we later regret.
For sure.
Yeah, you said something earlier in this podcast that was rude to people who are semi-blind.
Yeah. Gosh.
Haven't started regretting that yet, but I might.
Dick.
Dick.
Well, I was specifically being rude to a specific person who's already on this podcast.
Oh, they were just specifically being rude to a woman who used steroids at one point in her life.
Yeah, and then they can be specifically apologetic for it if they want to get out of the doghouse. And I'll be eventually specifically apologetic to this. But not today.
For now, he's in the freaking doghouse.
Not
Screw you.
today.
I'm canceling
Again,
you, Officer Smart.
DA, that is off or Detective Mark Smarks
No,
at
he's an
Law
officer
and
to
Order
me.
WBU. Yeah, now he's just an officer. He's getting demoted because he can't be.
You're not my sergeant.
Sergeant
Okay, I'll get a hold of
JLB.
Mr. Slaughter.
I will point out that the Iron Sheik gave his friendly reminder for everyone to go fuck themselves
Nice.
the other day. So just, reminder from the Iron Sheik.
It's valid.
Jeez.
I think
But,
I'm already following him.
I love the Iron Sheik. But on that note, we will probably start to wrap things up. All right.
About time.
Yeah. Tried to wrap things up here. So make sure to click all of the links in the doobly-doos for our link
All of
tree.
them.
All of them down there. They're going to have links to our Patreon, our merch store, our socials, all of that stuff there. The merch store, I mentioned before, we made it easier. You can find it all. Yep, right there. Boom. You can scan his boob.
And eventually go to scanmyboob.com. It'll be on the link tree.
Yeah, well, I haven't
I
committed to buying
sincerely
that
feel
one
like that's happening. For $12 a year, that might happen.
But you can head there to get all the socials. But our merch store made it a little bit easier. You can just go to our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Raw and Order WBU, and you can surf all of our merch right there and check it out right there and check out. So you can get the Raw and Order Wrestling Booking Unit hat, or the Fake Cops Real Pro Wrestling, or the link is in the doobly-doos, or the Please Sponsor Us Turks and Caicos. They're all on there. So just go to Facebook.com/Raw and Order WBU and look at them all there.
Honestly, guys, like one job.
Yeah, but you can follow
But not a
us
cop
on-
shirt.
Not a
Which,
cop.
unfortunately, I cannot wear at the same time as I wear the Raw and Order Wrestling Booking Unit shirt.
You can if you're creative.
Yeah. Joey did it on Friends.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Maybe if I was wearing underwear.
Maybe if I wasn't going commando.
Oh, better do some lunges.
Dang it, that was going to be my outro.
But make sure to check out all the links. You can follow us on social media. I'm on pretty much all of them. I'm mostly active on Facebook and TikTok, actually, right now. At Raw and Order WBU.
Never thought you'd
but
be
I'm
active on
Twitter and all
TikTok.
that stuff. I never thought I would be either. I got to be honest with you. It surprises me more than anything. But it's kind of fun. So, but you can follow me at Raw and Order WBU on any of those. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K. Fabe, and I'm mostly active out here on my patio, which is why the camera's off, because I have horrible lighting out here. But that's where I like to sit. So, unfortunately, I'm not active on the socials.
But you can still follow him there. And you can follow JLB at...
You can't follow me on my patio. That's creepy. Don't do that.
Do it. Follow him everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
Honk
100%.
at him constantly. But you can follow me at JLB420 or Real Talk Radio. That is the brand at Real Talk Radio 8, anchor.fm/RTR. I am done school, hopefully. Tomorrow is my last exam until summer. So I should be a heck of a lot more active on the Real Talk Radio and get a lot more done. So that is it. That is all. Back to you, good sir.
Yes. And so with that all being said, we will wrap things up for this. I would like to thank everyone for joining us. If you joined us on the live stream, thank you. If you're listening to us later, thank you there as well. Oh, look, it's the Wrestling Cops sticker. Right over there, Wrestling Cops.
If you can find it, you can follow me anywhere, literally, because it's on my truck.
Yes.
Nice.
But yeah, on that note, we will wrap things up. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.